Right, and we're gonna do something. Probably gonna call it client series, and just gonna chat general bollocks with people I work with, and just introduce people to everyone. Who the hell are you? Where are you coming from? And just in general, chat about yourself for a bit. So I'll give it to you. So give your name, Ash. Probably everyone knows you anyway.
Yeah.
Let's
Ash
go from
Broughton.
there.
Ash Broughton, the unicorn.
Why unicorn?
I don't know. You gave me that. Unitator, like half potato, half unicorn. Because I've always weighed about 60 kilogram, but been all right.
Same like sack of spuds.
Yes, sack of spuds.
Anyway,
You can do a lot with a sack of spuds.
Give us a bit of your background. Where the hell you come from? What are you actually doing? So client series. So you obviously have something to do with me at some point of your life.
Yep.
But what was your, let's say, interest to even reach out to me, or me reaching out to you, or whatever happened? And give us a bit of breakdown about how you got involved in fitness training and all those kind of things.
Well, thinking right back, I started off at like a little backstreet gym because I were holding a bit of weight. I used to drink a lot. I used to go fishing, as you know, sit on bank for days on end, drinking, eating shit, and I just generally felt crappy myself. So then what I did is I started at a gym. I did little bits and bobs and just normal training. And then what did it for me is someone showed me a post of yours from S20. And if you remember, I messaged you, but I didn't turn up like 2 or 3 times because I saw these transformation posts and I thought, I want that. I thought, I don't want to look skinny fat. Do you know what I mean? I thought, I want to look like that. I forgot whose picture it were, but they were good at the transformation, were good anyway. And then obviously I got in touch with you, and around work, I ended up meeting you at S20, if you remember. You sat me down, you give me that questionnaire and everything, and we went through it all. And then obviously you decided to work with me. I think you watched me for a couple of weeks or whatever. And then it went from there.
So what was your actual desire going and getting coached by someone? I'm pretty sure you were coached by somebody already, but what was the desire to get some kind of change in your life at that point?
Well, I just wanted to be the best version of myself. And I knew what I was doing, it weren't working for me. I was slogging at it, really putting effort in it, putting my mind to training. And it just weren't happening anywhere. I didn't have the knowledge of diet. I didn't have the knowledge of what I needed. And if you remember when I come to you, I think I was on something like 1,800 calories a day.
So what I'm trying to get out of you is, what did you actually want to try to accomplish at that time?
A change.
A change in what sense? You looked good. You were lifting good weights. Talk about that. So talk about, because you're obviously into strength training and all those kind of things. But first of all,
I wasn't.
So your first strength training was, probably you could explain us about your paperboy time. Why is your back so strong? Explain everyone.
Yeah, well, that's where my deadlift comes from, and no one believes it. Like, I used to lug 360 papers around with me in a trolley Friday and Saturday. Walked into a gym, deadlifted 5 plates because of that paper round.
So what was the goal? So you can, how many kilos of paper?
300 kilogram. That was my all-time goal when I first walked in. I was like, look, all I want to do is lift 300 kilogram in my life.
How did that work out?
I think we did that in about a month. Well, I remember, I'm like, yeah, I just want to be able to lift 300 kilogram once in my life. And then about 8 weeks passed and we'd done it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think the first run was 8 weeks to 320. So
320, yeah, I remember it. With skanky leg.
So
I've still got it up.
Why did you? So what was your external struggle in sense of why were you struggling to achieve it on your own before? What was holding you back in sense of, was there something to do with working too much or not being in
Yeah,
the right place?
just no knowledge. I didn't have any knowledge, as you know, right? I'm a gas engineer by background, an everyday guy, got children, and it was knowledge and being told certain things with certain people that it just wasn't professional knowledge, what you need, the basics.
Yeah.
So that's what I needed.
You get your basics. People get confused because you get your basics from people who go to gym 15, 20 years and people trust them. And I always compare it to someone who drives a car. I'm like, I'm not being funny. I've been driving some kind of vehicle since I was 5. I'm not a fucking good driver.
Yeah.
That doesn't make me a good driver, does it?
No, people get stuck in the ways, and that's what was happening to me. I was listening to certain people, there's certain groups of people, and none of them was that serious about it. But for me, that were like, whoa, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it was just wrong. I just didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the professional knowledge that I needed.
So when you came over, you had some kind of internal struggle as well, which was for you kind of, do you remember why I laughed at you when you told me your goal?
No.
Because you already were deadlifting nearly 300 kilos.
Yeah, I think I was something like 260 or something.
I'm like,
but obviously, this is what I'm saying. Like, to me, 40 kilogram was a lifetime away. Like, I used to think to myself, 260 key, yeah, but 40 kilogram is a lifetime away. Because if you remember, when I started strongman, I'd never seen any strongman videos. I'd never seen any strongman training. I did, you know what I mean? I only used to see giants live at arena and that come up. I wasn't involved in any of it at all when we started strongman. I didn't know anything.
So what was more of a breaking point to go away? Right, you understand you're not in the right place and whatnot, but you always kind of, how can I describe you? You are in a little group and you are pretty much feeling guilty for leaving it. What was the breaking point for you to leave that group? Because obviously they helped you to get pretty far. Even with limited knowledge, they helped you a lot. So what was the breaking point for you?
When I decided, the breaking point when I did start to see certain things, certain videos, and believe that I could do that. I used to think, wow, like I could be better than this. So I needed to look after myself, and not in a selfish way, but it is all about yourself. Like, if you're going to do something and you feel like you're being held back, you need to take it upon yourself to remove yourself to make that change.
Yeah. Well, that's it's the way I describe it always. Your physical growth is your mental. If you don't mentally improve yourself, you won't physically progress as well. So
it wasn't anything against anybody. It's just I decided I'd got to a point where if someone's okay staying at where they're at for the rest of their life, then fair enough. It don't make me feel any different towards people, but I'm a guy that strives for better all the time.
So it feels like you had a notion that they are where they are and they are more than happy to just stay where they are.
Yeah, and everyone who I knew were just happy where they were.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not. I never am.
You're doing amazing and nobody thinks you could go do even better kind of approach.
Basically, yeah, like, and it's not that, just like I knew I could be better and I knew I would be held back by being in certain circles, by the limited knowledge, the limited people around me. I knew I needed to expand it to gain more knowledge, to get better.
So what was a conflict that got resolved in terms of when you go and change someone's approach in training, nutrition, and all those kind of things? You go through a period where you think like, why should I trust anyone else kind of thing? So what were those things that in your head were still kind of causing you doubts? Will it work or will it not? So for example, when I ask you to eat more food, when I started to ask you, you know what, you will be doing a lot of bloody walks and cardio and all those kind of things. which most thing goes against any kind of strength training, when
Yeah,
in reality, you know yourself, the fitter you get, the easier your strength gains came.
yeah.
So where was there anything like that in your head in your time being?
Well, for me, there is no. I obviously came to you, and we started working together. And to be fair, from the moment we started, I could trust you. You know, I'm not a bad judge of character, and I could trust what you were giving me. I'd seen your portfolio. I didn't ever need to doubt it. And you know, I'll listen to what I'm told to do, and I'll stick to it. So I just thought, right, if you're going to invest in yourself, Ash, you need to listen to everything that's said. You need to do everything that's said, because then if it doesn't work, it's not your fault. Do you know what I mean?
So
But then as time went on, I was getting the progression. I was getting accomplishments. So it was like the trust came more and more over the months, because I just thought, well, I weren't doing any of this before this guy, and now look. So it didn't even cross my mind that I didn't, you know what I mean? I couldn't trust it, because we were making progress, which to me were worth it all.
So what were your best achievements in terms of what did you take away the most in terms of changing your training, changing your nutrition, changing pretty much everything? Now, truth be told, still not having trend.
Yeah, still not having trend, still never going to touch trend.
We're pulling over 400 kilos.
Mad. I think that's another thing, isn't it? Like, everyone thinks like trend's the magical juice, the magical liquid, but in all fairness, all it does is get you injured.
Yeah. Well, it's the way it works on pure psychology and physiology. It makes a lot of sense for people to take it.
Yeah.
Because it makes them actually do what they're supposed to do. Follow the fucking plan and train hard.
Yeah.
Which very, very few people do. And that's why they value it's so extremely high. But in reality, if you're mentally strong, there are far better things outside there. Your health better. So
what have I always said to you? I've always said to you, I don't ever want to be one of them guys that pulls a PB deadlift, pulls a PB log, and then because I'm running certain gear, and then once that's taken away from me, I cannot lift that again. I've always said to you, I want to be the guy that can pull 400 key, and I could quite confidently say I could have a week's rest now and pull 400 key again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You see
because
a lot
I've
of
got
people.
there.
Every 6 months, I pulled my own PB. Like, are you not supposed to progress?
Yeah, I remember that we used to say, didn't we? They'd be like, "Oh, I haven't touched this weight in a year. I finally matched my old PB," and I'd think to myself, "Well, there's no progression there."
Yep. So, what was the biggest transformation? What would you say in terms of like mentally, physically? What did it affect anything else apart from you getting stronger?
Mentally, massively. The 90% of the battle is your own head.
Yeah.
90% of the battle is your own head, and that's that.
So do you want to touch on that a bit more? Because everyone has some issues with head. Tell us about yours.
Oh my God. Mine fell off, as you know.
Right. We only have half a year.
Yeah, for basically, you know, my head fell off for a year. I couldn't cope with certain things. My personal life massively changed. Time with my kids changed. Everything, my life did a drastic upside down because I didn't talk to you and I didn't cope with it well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So how you feel it now? A year later, everything is gone by and whatnot. So
fine again. Like,
what do you think you could have done better? What do you think you could do better in future? What would you suggest to others to look out for in terms of, you know, if you're feeling like this or feeling like that, don't bottle it down or whatever. What has your experience taught you?
One thing that I will always do now is talk, because one thing is other people can see it from the outside of the fence. So something you may be feeling. I've had a few chats actually with a couple of guys in the gym that I know have struggled over these last few months. And the thing is, it's all right sat there bottling it up, but your mind runs away with it. So best thing to do is confide in someone close to you, tell them how you're feeling, and trust them enough to turn around and tell you you're acting like an absolute idiot and you need to chill out. Or they could be like, yeah, look, I get that. I felt this way, or I do this, and then that could flip your head and make you think a different way, rather than falling off wagon.
So how much does training now take part in just keeping your head straight?
Every part of it. It has all the way through. If it weren't for that, then, you know what I mean? There'd be nothing.
Yeah, especially through this lockdown, I think it's just so easy to just, let's have a drink, let's eat pizza, let's do this, let's do that. And
yeah, well, you know, I've been doing body weight stuff. People will think I've been training all the way through lockdown, like a lot of other guys will be getting called out on. It's a load of shit. I know loads of people that have had a lot more opportunities to train than I have. I've been in kitchen with dumbbells. I've been on back garden. I've been on car parks. I've been doing mobility, body weight stuff. I didn't lift a weight in 8 weeks.
Why, like that as well? That's probably one of the things that so many people go against. Like, oh, you shouldn't be wasting your time on doing this shit. If you want to be strong, you need to just lift heavy weights and lift big weights. And
yeah,
what do you say to that?
This is what people don't understand. You know, like I always tell people about your Agile 10. I told someone about it the other day. They don't understand the little monkey crawls, the hanging swings, the kneeling snatchers. They don't understand how much that plays a part in progressing. It works all them tiny muscles. Do you know what I mean? It stabilizes everything that you wouldn't use. You can only get so much from one movement up and down on a deadlift. Like, you've taught me yourself, one bit out of line than the normal line, and that could injure you. Yeah, because your other muscles aren't used to it.
You lean over to tie your shoelaces and you pull your back.
Exactly, that's it. And people don't understand how.
Last 5 years, you have never been in position like that.
No,
100 kilos, but you can't lean over. So, yeah,
exactly. That's why I do what I do. That's why I do the monkey stuff that you tell me to do.
What regards food, what do you take away with that side? Because you've been doing all sorts. You've been following really strict daft shit. You've been having flexible, whatever you want.
McDonald's, shit.
You've been on McDonald's, and now you're back on kind of not regimented, but I would say actually living like an athlete again.
Yes, I am.
What do you take away with it, and what do you think is actually working? What isn't working? Obviously, a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't stick to diet," but when you sit them down in front of you and ask them to give you a 7-day feedback, what they actually do every day, and you realize they do same exact stuff every single day. It's just absolute garbage what they do.
Yeah.
They don't class
remember my diet.
It's not chicken and rice. It's a sandwich and bloody wrap. Like fill it with 700 calories of mayo you don't even need, and then just blow your face out of proportions and all sorts.
Well, for me, obviously, I've been really strict for 2 years, and there were times where I did have to eat a bit of crap to pick myself up. Remember, I've told you I'd been doing it that long. I do believe your body does need some crap to restore the balance. So we started doing that. So I felt good again, but I felt great. Eating garbage like that, I'm never going to do again. And you can put this out, even though I make jokes about McDonald's, ice cream, and all that lot. I'm never going to live that again, because for one, it makes you feel shocking. For two, now I'm back eating how I should be, like an athlete, like you said, my proper meals. The strength's there straight away. Whereas I noticed when I was eating like crap from McDonald's, it were hit and miss. Yeah. So some days I'd feel really strong, other days there'd be nothing there. And I think eating calorie-dense foods, what people don't understand about, I think they're well, I know they're a lot better for you, you know, than anything. Like your body can do more with that kind of food than a McDonald's.
Yeah, people are still bought into this. You need calories to get big,
Calories.
strong, but they don't
Yeah.
understand there's no point of putting petrol in a car if engine is clogged up.
Yeah.
And that's what McDonald's and all those kind of things that, yeah, it's got great, but you obviously weren't eating them every single meal anyway. You eat like 7-8 meals a
No.
day, and once
Yeah.
McDonald's once a day. For someone like you who is fit and active every single day anyway, it doesn't affect you as bad as somebody who's
No.
sitting on their ass all day and then has those kind of foods. And
Yeah.
they are just lacking just basic enzymes and basic vitamins to actually make that food be accessible to your muscles to use for energy. So
Yeah.
they think I'm taking that carb source and it's going to magically convert into energy straight away. No, it doesn't work that way. You need to prime your body to actually be able to extract that food, convert it into energy and all those kind of things. That's why like you do so much walking and all those kind of things, which translates into strengths afterwards because you can train longer, you recover quicker, and a million other things. You just feel better in general.
Yeah, yeah. It's the feeling. It's the feeling better in yourself.
So what's the plan for future? So what have you done so far? Because some people watching, they have not really followed you because there are, I think, close to 1,500 people are on YouTube alone. And I can't see all of them knowing your history. So what have you done? Start from your bodybuilding times.
Yeah. I didn't want to mention that.
board your time. Sorry, not bodybuilding.
Yeah. Well, basically, I started, as you know, in that gym. I did about 6 months training. I entered a physique comp in them pink flamingo shorts. And I think I was like 12 stone 3.
And man bun.
And man bun. I had man bun. My tan was good though. Tan was right good. And I did that. And then after that, obviously that's when I ended up badly from that comp. I ended up with really bad water retention, everything, because I had dieted, never used any PDs or anything. And then that's when I met you. We started working together. We worked up until some lifts, and I think we're only a few weeks in. And you were like, you do realise you're pretty strong, Ash. Do you want to do a strongman comp? So then we went to Martin's, didn't we, for a few weeks and practiced odd little bits.
Yep.
We did like Rotherham's strongest novice
Manimal
monsters. Yeah, we did that. What did I come there? 4th.
Yeah.
I come 4th, and then from that's when Bug got me, because I was like, I love this. Do you know what I mean? And then I think the next comp after that was Bolton's strongest novice.
Was that when I was away, wasn't I?
Yeah, that was Bolton's strongest novice.
Yeah.
I won that. And then we went to UK's strongest novice. I came second in that. Then we got called out. I was getting some right shit, saying I'm too strong to be a novice. They were all making
some people thought you were a professional powerlifter and God knows what else.
Like, I've got some
training for 3 months. Give it a break.
I've been training like 3 months, and I've got a fucking 70 key log or something like that. I couldn't bench.
I don't think you could pick up empty log at the beginning.
I couldn't bench. I had like a 70 key push press PB. My squat were around 150 or something. But I had a 360 key deadlift. Yeah. Or something like that.
Then Arnold Classic qualifier.
We did UK's Arnold Classic qualifier, which I won that one. And then what did we do after that, Novice?
That was
Andy Boltons.
That was purely fitness. So you blew out everyone. And I think nobody expected you to pull track the fastest because you were the smallest out of all of them.
I know, but obviously, like you said, the fitness is there. What did I do in 49 seconds?
I don't remember. I think it was something stupid, like 15 seconds faster than second place or something like that.
Yeah, it was like I did it in like 49 seconds, and it was like 18 ton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was good that was first ever go I'd ever had a go at a truck pull.
Yeah, but you could tell the difference that not many people were still having energy at that time of the day, because you were still full of
Yeah.
beans, whereas everybody had already exhausted themselves to the absolute limits.
Yeah, it were an hard comp that. It were hard because there's some
Yeah.
really strong lads there.
I think it was probably mentally the hardest one, because you had so many people who had done so great in front of you.
Yeah.
And
Some
then,
big names, and there were some strong kids.
Andy Boltons, talk about Andy Boltons.
Oh, Andy Boltons were literally, I'll live that comp for as long as I can deadlift me.
Tell
I love
people
that
what
comp.
I asked you to lift and what the fuck you lifted.
You told me to lift 400. Were it 400? You told me the 3 lifts. You were like, I want you to enter on 350.
Yep.
So I was like, I don't want to. And then I think you said you wanted me to go 350, 380, 400.
Yep.
And I went 320, 350, 370.
Easy.
I know.
In pro class.
If you remember though, obviously I could have gone for 390 and won that. But if I'd have failed 390, I'd have come 4th.
Yeah.
So we had the chat whether to podium or not in the first ever pro comp that I'd done, especially raw powerlifting comp. I'd never done anything like that in my life, no straps.
It was a good day.
Do you know what I mean? So I played it safe because obviously I wanted to take a trophy home. And I were up against Graham and I didn't want him to beat me up.
Yeah, that was a good day. I think after that, world fell apart, and and nothing else happened. So
Andy's a good guy, and it's a good comp. I'm looking forward to it this year.
Yeah. So at moment, what's your goal at moment? Where you're heading on? What's happening?
Goals in what year? It's my personal goals.
In everything. So what's goal in training wise? Are you competing again? What's the goal in personal life? How you're mixing and matching, because you said you're a gas engineer. So how are you even mixing and matching your job to being as strong as you are?
Well, I'm basically, my life now is I'm prioritizing my training again, obviously putting work around it. I never let the gym consume me, because if I did, I wouldn't enjoy it. So I make sure I get up, go to work in the morning, leave a bit of time in the afternoon for me to train, always go back to work. I've got NutriFast in my meals, like bagels and stuff, that I can eat on the road. So I've adapted my meal plan. Basically, the carbs and the protein that you give me, the calories that you give me, I've put them into meals for when I'm on the road, when I'm at work. So I can't miss meals because I will find it hard to eat Tupperware outside at road and stuff cold. So I adapted that to suit. So I've got no excuses to miss them while I'm at work. Then I train. I can sit down and eat after I've trained. Back to work, and then home and train and chill. And then my goals, basically, I've got a couple of personal goals, as you know. I want to pull 420 kilogram on a deadlift before Christmas. I want to get to a 170 log. And then I'll be pretty happy at them lifts. I'm thinking about obviously competing. We've got England's strongest man coming up, which at the moment I'm all for. I'm going for it. I've got Andy Boltons, which that's the one I'm most looking forward to this year, because that is where I want to try 420 key raw. I'm going to say if I can, but I am going to go for it regardless.
Yeah.
And they're my only goals. They're my only goals this year. Due to lockdown, I don't want to pile it on. I'm nowhere near what I can be. I'm nowhere near at my best yet. So this year for me is going to be a cruising one to get myself back into the swing rate, as a lot of other guys and girls are going to be doing, because we've just lost a full year. A lot of people, professionals, were lucky enough to be able to train and keep going as normal. 90% of us weren't. So we've got to accept there's going to be a knockback this year.
Yeah. So what would be your, we're not going to drag this any much longer, but I would like to know your personal opinion of what would be your advice to somebody who's starting out on, let's say, strongmen. Let's just keep it nice and simple. That's your area. So what would you give what would you tell somebody who goes in a gym? You know, Ash, I like what you're doing. How do I start it? What do I look for? Everybody's gonna ask in what drug should I take? Blah 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 blah. So, how much information are you willing to give? What would you actually say to somebody who's starting out? Where would you tell to start out and how to progress so they don't mess themselves up?
Basically, the thing I would say for every question they hit at me is bare minimal for everything. So bare minimal in like if they're going to use PDs, bare minimal. They need to get a coach if they can afford one. If they can't, they need to do some research. Take the time, enjoy it. Don't take it too serious, because it burns people's head out in the first 3 months, and then they'll just stop. It should be something to enjoy. You should have interest in it. So this would be my advice. I'd just say start it off, enjoy it. I had a guy message me thinking about competing. He'd been doing strongman 2 months, and I just said, look, I'm not being nasty, but why? You know, enjoy it, grow, get stronger, have fun with it, get your mates involved, practice all your events, do a bit of time at it, see if you actually love it, then do a competition. Because I feel like doing that early on, if he didn't win or didn't get where he wanted to get, he's going to fall out with it and stop.
Yeah, and then you start exactly these. Oh, everyone must be taking drugs and this and that. And
Not
being funny, mate. In 2 months, you can't learn jack shit. It's so complex. You might learn one movement in 2 months if you are extremely gifted. But that's as far as you'll get.
That's it. So my
it's
advice
very competitive at the moment because it's growing. So
well, I'd just say literally keep it all simple. Go to the gym to enjoy it and go for yourself. If it's for any other reason, it will burn out. Go because you've got love for sport. Go because you've got love for what you're doing. Again, if you're going for any other reason, it's forced and it'll not last.
Yeah. So general advice, take it slower, longer.
Enjoy it.
And
enjoy
reach
the
out
process.
to somebody who's actually doing it. So this brings me back to some things that I do want to touch up before we finish this. Because you reached out to somebody at beginning and you figured out that I am not growing with these people anymore. I need something else. What would you say to people who are trying to get coaching to look out for in their coach to make sure that they are not being stagnant just because they are afraid to go and reach out to someone else?
Right. You need to watch out for literally no changing. If your weights are not progressing at least every 2 weeks by a fraction, if you're feeling tired and crap or you're not eating enough, so have the get right food, like, are you recovering properly? These are the things to look out for. How do you feel in general? Do you feel good for going to the gym or do you feel worse? Have you noticed any changes yourself by looking at yourself? Again, with strength sports, you can monitor whether what you're doing is correct if you're progressing on your weights. If you're not progressing, you need to change something. You either need more food, you need more rest. It's just the change. Basically, if you're starting off with a coach and within a month, nothing has changed, you need a new coach.
Yeah, or you need to start listening to your coach.
I'll start listening. If you followed it, and it don't work, then you need a new coach. If you haven't followed it, then start listening.
Yeah, I find it, for example, I think the extremely important thing is with coaching is what I would suggest other people is if your coach is not getting coached, he's a shit coach because he thinks he's fucking knows everything.
That's it. Everybody needs a coach.
Same like with yourself. If you were not still trying to figure out new things, how to get better at your job, you are shit at your job.
Yeah, because I think I know it all, but obviously you don't. You're always learning.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years later, everything you know about your stuff might change, and if you're not
redundant
times, you're gonna be without job soon, or you're gonna go and mess up somebody's house at some point. And I think, like personally, from my side, I don't know if you agree. From my side, if I was to get coached by somebody, I would see is a person trying to learn more, or are they just pushing what they know and that's it? They are not trying to progress at all in any way, sense, or form. I think that's kind of important because so many things change all the time. And if you are reaching out, trusting someone, and they are not trying to make sure that they are giving you the best stuff by constantly revising what they know, more likely that they are just winging it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So yeah, I'm going to let you out on this one. I really appreciate your time. Is there anything you would add to anyone? How can people find you? Instagram? Do you use any other social media?
If anyone wants to add me on Instagram, it's Broughton 1989. I tag you in all my posts. You tag me in your posts. So if people see this, Broughton 1989. And if anyone wants to ask me anything about my personal experiences or what I've been through or anything that I can help with, drop me a message free of charge and I'll chat to you. If not, and I don't know the answer, I'll ask Big Man, here is, and then he'll know the answer.
And if not, at least you can fix their boiler.
Yeah, and if not, I do run a plumbing business. So if you need any radiators or boilers fitting, be sure to drop me a message. Free advertising.
Yeah, awesome. Right. Thanks for your chat. I'll let you off and I'll speak to you soon.
Sound, bro. See you later.